and thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Talk the Talk. It is so cold out here in Kempton Park. It's winter. We are now working in real time. So what you see now is exactly what the weather looks like. So we literally are publishing all our videos in real time. I have a special guest with me today. Chantelle is another incredible woman that have reached the finals in her category of the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards in 2020. I've gotten to know Chantelle and can confirm that she's a strong woman who faces challenges, stands up for herself, and refuses to stay silent in the face of adversity. She recognizes her journey and stays the course. She knows when she needs to push herself, but also know when to walk away. A combination of passion, self-respect, tact, and timing, along with a healthy dose of courage, is her secret to success. So let's meet another phenomenal woman in motoring, and this interview is proudly brought to you once again by Sariti Solutions and Evo by Nedbank. Hello, Chantelle.
How's it, Dash? It's good to be here, and the studio looks amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. We are still hustling along, but we are surviving. We are survivors.
But that's the key. We
Yes.
need to survive given the circumstances, and especially this cold winter.
Absolutely. Look, Chantelle, I think my audience by now knows you because you've been on this show so often, and there's a reason for that. And I think the fundamental reason for that is your support from day one for this initiative. So I'd like to thank you so much for being a consistent. We are growing phenomenally. I just got word over the weekend that we are actually the biggest woman empowerment social media platform in the world.
Congratulations.
Yes.
So that is an amazing achievement.
And that must feel great for you too, because in pioneering this, you were there. You and Brad Capital were there. So thank you for that.
Thanks, it's a privilege.
Okay. So Chantelle, the reason I brought you back, not just to look at your beautiful face and you, I brought you back to maybe shed some light. What's going on in the industry, and specifically with Hatfield? I know the acquisition of Fury has been a great, it's been a transformation, I would say, in terms of Hatfield and Fury. Talk about that.
Yeah, so in end of July, our exco announced that we have been in talks to buy the Fury Motor Group as a whole group, and they reached an agreement, and that we were waiting for the Competition Commission to actually sign off on the acquisition. And then we would have gone live 1st of December with the takeover, and then Brad brought it forward a month, 1st of November. We literally had 2 weeks to take over the business. And oh my word, being in the motor industry for 20 years, I've never realized that I could still learn so much in such a short space of time. So it was hectic. Getting to know their business operations, the way they do things. Not only that, but the multitude of different brands within the business. So we historically have just been VW and Audi, and now all of a sudden we've got brands like Suzuki and Volvo, and we've got Isuzu, and it's so diverse. And not only that, but we had to go cross-border, so we had to actually leave Gauteng and end up in Durban, and go to Richards Bay, which I've never been to before then, and Toti and all of that, and so meet a diverse bunch of people. But then we had to step back and say, okay, fine, we're used to what we're doing. We're used to how we run our business. And we now had to delve into this established business, which was run exceptionally well by Ken and Mark Robertson and everybody. And actually then, without removing the culture that was Fury and that defined Fury, bring the complementary attributes that we as a Hatfield Motor Group could contribite towards those leaderships, and actually then take them to the next level. So it's been a hectic journey. It has really been. A lot of my projects that I had prior to the take-on had to be put on hold, and all of a sudden, luckily, I had a fantastic team, or still have a fantastic team. So I could kind of leave Hatfield into my team's hands and then take on the Fury thing. But yeah, it's good, and at least I think we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel. It's not an oncoming train. It is light, but it's still going to be a journey for the next, I would say, 18 months.
Right.
In order to get, so we have to go through a full financial year trading. We have to go through all the emotions. The market that's changed so much in the last 6 months. I mean, we're working with volume brands that are coming in. So yeah, it's been really, really good, and not only us having all the changes, but like I said, the market also seeing changes like EV being introduced, electric vehicles, from an Audi perspective, which is a huge drive, and then all the other OEMs also doing that. So yeah, lots of things happening in the motor industry. I think if you ever wanted to join a dynamic, bursting industry, the motor industry is where you need to be.
And it's so amazing. It was this transition. I've been in the forefront watching it. Brad Capital is very close to my heart. You know that, everybody knows that. And just watching him do this with such ease and with so much of, he's got so much of humility. Within him. I've sat with him, but he still has the time for every single person in his businesses, and now he's got more. He's got, I think, there's 33 in total, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, it all comes again from leadership. All of you that have embraced this transformation and this transition. What's the culture like? So
there was Jock, who's our operational executive in the Fury Group. Actually, we sat around a boardroom table. I think it was the beginning of January after we took over in October. And he kind of summed it up quite well. He says he was so excited because Hatfield, with new ideas and new technology in the sense of how we run our businesses and the systems that we use, was going to take over Fury. And he was so excited, and him being in the industry for such a long time, he thought, well, I've got this knacked, I'm all okay. And then we come in and we kind of, so he was happy, and then we come in and we started ripping stuff apart because we had to delve into the business and see what's happening.
Right.
And he says that moment it felt like he was being punched in the face. And he was like, okay, now I'm going to stay back. And then the next moment he goes like, okay, let me see what these people do. So he was like observing, and then he realized, oh, there's a lot that he can learn. And then he learned. And now he's like, okay, now I'm ready to run with you. And I think that's exactly what we went through as well. So excitement, and then you realize and you step back and you go like, okay, not exactly what I expected. And then the next moment it's like, what can I learn from this? And then how can we take it together as a team? So currently I think we've rebuilt the brand, the team spirit. So everybody is getting to know each other. What the culture is like is to see that we don't have to be in competition, but we can actually be in complementary service of each other.
Yes.
So it sounds bad, but I mean, the used car managers work closely together looking for stock and exchanging stock, or because a car that might not sell on one floor will definitely sell on another floor. And yeah, the salespeople have found a new sense of competition, because not only are they competing against their own brand, but they're competing against other brands within the Hatfield Group. So there's a new sense of urgency. We feel young and energized, because I think if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, you kind of get, laid back and you become suave, where this challenge is just like re-energize the team, if I can put it like that.
And how, personally for you, how have you been balancing home life and all of this new responsibility? I mean, you went from 11 dealerships, I think 11 or 12, to 33.
Yes.
So,
so you surround yourself by very, very good people.
True that. But I did not even introduce, I think you are so, like I said, part of the furniture. I did not even introduce your title, your position. What are you? You're still marketing manager?
I'm the group marketing manager.
So now this is for Fury and Hatfield.
Yes, looking after it.
Okay, so
So what we, from my side, is I've got an exceptionally amazing husband that supports me 100%. My kids, at least.
Let's check that out. It's Yaku, and he's at Afipat.
Afipat af.
Afipat af. Okay.
like
yes,
off the road.
Yes, please, you have to go and support him because he's such an amazing, incredible guy. I've known him also for as long as I've known Chantelle, I think. So please support him. Okay.
So it does help having teenagers. So my son just received got his learner's license. So he's at that age. So they can kind of cope themselves. They can study themselves. They can make their own lunch. They can pack their own breakfast or whatever. So the family has been exceptionally supportive. Brad did warn us. So he did say, Chantelle, I'm going to need 200% of your time for the next year or two, and it will be worth your while. And that has helped because he did warn me.
Yes.
We had a family meeting actually. My mom retired, and that's helping me. She was in the motor industry working at one dealership for 29 years. So the support structure I've managed to put into place. So if I have to travel every second week to Durban, or I have to do dealer travels, hopping between the dealerships or go to OEM meetings, my family is exceptionally supportive. And then I've got a team, so I believe in upskilling my team and allowing them to multitask because I like to multitask.
Right.
So one of my ladies, Bernice, she was here as well. Yes, yeah. So she was here as well. So I would be able to, if I'm stuck in a meeting, I would be able to tell Bernice, quickly pop onto this meeting and quickly just, attend to it. And she'll be able to do exactly what I've been able to do. And I've got amazing team members. I've also managed to now to add a layer to my team. So I've like semi-promoted some of my senior people to start looking after the juniors. It's not been that hectic. I'm busy, but I haven't felt that I'm drowning, which is good.
And I think the key thing that we can take from that is delegation.
Yeah.
You should. I remember a conversation I had with Pan and Dirk van der Veld, owners of We Buy Cars, and Dirk said to me, Tej, I asked him, what's the secret to success? He said, delegation.
Yes.
You need to be able to delegate.
No, definitely.
So, Chantelle, what has been the highlight of this journey? Look, we know about your journey in the industry. We're talking now specifically your journey from going from 11 dealerships to 33.
I think being exposed to the multitude of different brands and my eyes actually opening to say there's a space for every single car.
Absolutely.
In this industry, and being exposed to the diverse way that each OEM actually manages their brand, from Suzuki, which is a very different personality, to Arval, very different to Ford, very different to VW, but each one into their own, and experts at what they do. That has been a highlight for me because I can learn again. I can learn something else, and my eyes open every day.
Right.
And I'm able to step back and say, sure, I didn't even think about it this way. And that has been a highlight for me. And then I suppose one other one is the fact that Brad actually trusted me to get this done. So that has been a real honor to get it done. And then building relationship with team members, colleagues, that I never thought would happen, but it actually did. So that's been a great highlight as well.
I laugh at the first thing you say, or smile, big smile, talking about the different OEMs, their culture, their CI compliance, so different. You're doing 13 brands, I'm doing 27. So I know, I feel the pain, girl, but I also understand that it's amazing. You see, we talk about the Korean brands, and then you talk about the Japanese brands, and then we're talking about the US brands, and then we're talking about the German brands.
Yes.
They are so different in terms of the way they do things and to adapt to all of that, and you've done it now literally in under a year. So well done to you.
Thank
Well
you. I'm
done.
not there yet, but we're still learning.
Yeah, Haval is one of the brands that, it's not that new anymore, but their CI compliance, their culture, the way they approach even their marketing, campaigns are so different from the way the Germans do it.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a lot to actually take in, but it's great for those of you that want to get into marketing to understand that it's very exciting. We work in an industry where we're not just exposed to one culture. We have so many countries that we are exposed to. When it comes to Volvo, we've got Sweden, we've got, like I said, you can travel the world within motoring South Africa and just sit here.
Yes. Yeah, that's very
marketing
exciting.
is a great opportunity in the motoring trade. Chantelle, we're going to endeavor into new journeys together in terms of educating our followers. Why do you think this is important? And this is when it comes to after sales. Or even within or pre-sales, buying your car, filling those apps that you need to finance applications that you need to complete. Why do you think the future endeavor that we're going to undertake is important for our followers? We've got 30,000. Thank you everybody for following us. We've got 30,000 followers and we're growing, and it's important for our ladies to be educated.
Yeah.
Why so?
So I think we're, even though the motor industry is at quite an evolved level worldwide, I think in South Africa we're still an emerging market.
Right.
Because a lot of the customers that buy from us currently, and especially being noticed now across the multitude of brands, they've never been exposed to the motor industry.
Right.
They've lived in rural communities. They've either walked to school. Their parents have never owned cars. They've now, through very hardship and a lot of hard work and effort, managed to work or crawl their way through the community and through a life cycle where they're now in a position to buy a vehicle, their own transport.
Right.
And they can actually afford to buy a vehicle and not rely on a taxi or a bus or walking 5 kilometers to get to the first bus stop and then get into a vehicle, but they can actually commute themselves. But because, I mean, we're privileged in the sense of my father bought a car, so I know the process.
Right.
I know that you need to apply for finance. I know what it means to pay back a car. I know what the terminology residual value means. I know what the terminology interest rate means, and what is a prime, and what is, where some of our customers don't. And it is our obligation to take a step back. We sell hundreds of cars every day, but our customers buy one car maybe once in a lifetime, and if we're lucky, once every 5 years. That is that's probably the second biggest thing that they'll ever do in their life, next to getting married and starting a family, is buying a vehicle. And so we really need to educate our customers so that it becomes seamless for them and easy for them to become part of our family. So I want to be able to say to them, this 7-page daunting document that has to be completed, that we need to submit to the banks. This is what this document is all about, and this is why we have to submit this document. I do, though, on the side think that the banks could try and make it easier. Like I'm able to download from my banking app a stamped bank letter. Can I not download the basic principles of a finance application form? So if I go in there and I press a button, and it actually calculates all my debit orders. It calculates my home loan if it's linked to my bank and things like that. So that's a different discussion. But yeah, we need to make it easy for customers to transact with us. We make it so difficult. I mean, when we want to book in a car for a service, we ask the customer, what's the VIN number? Oh, who knows what a VIN number is? Then I ask them, okay, registration number? Yes, we can remember the registration. Make, model, and year. Half the people don't know if it's a 1.4 Comfort line or a Trend line, or if it's some people don't even know if it's the difference between a Vivo and a Polo. I drive a red car and so proud of my little red car. We shouldn't make it difficult for the customer to transact with us. And we just want to guide them through that process. I mean, knowing the difference between a warranty and a service plan and a maintenance plan. For us, it's jargon. We know, but they don't.
But I mean, a lot of the inquiries that come through to me to do these topics are those issues or aspects that we should be touching on, but also after sales. So in terms of them going into a dealership, to the service department, what should they look out for? What should they be charged for? What should they not be charged for? How much should they approximately be charged for certain? So I'd love to have Hatfield help me pioneer this project in terms of not just educating people to buy from Hatfield, but
of course,
across the board.
Yes.
You know, we need people all over the country to understand that it's as daunting as it seems. There is easier ways to do it.
Yes.
So thank you so much. We're going to definitely discuss this further. I'm very excited. A couple ladies again this year have been We've got 40 groups where the ladies were nominated for the Motoring Woman of the Year awards this year. Our top 300 includes some, I think, more fury than Hatfield ladies. I spent some time with Stacey Grace in KZN. Yes. So we've got some lovely ladies from both your groups. Any words of encouragement, or even to all 300 finalists? We had over 4,000 nominations this year.
Yeah, I think ladies shouldn't be intimidated when they get nominated. I think they need to embrace it and take it for what it is, that somebody noticed the effort that you're putting in. And then take it to the next level and do what you can to then pay it forward. That feeling that you just received by being nominated, even if you weren't a finalist, is to actually then take that feeling and encourage every single person that works in your dealership or in your business, and allow them to understand that they can also excel. They can also hit the ground running. And if you're a cleaner, if you're a tea lady, if you're an MD or a CEO of a company, why should you just be that? You can be so much more in that portfolio. So you can encourage other cleaners to clean with a smile or with a song in your lips. Yes, so I think that is what I would encourage the ladies, and the biggest thing is to pay it forward. That it's not something that you should be shy of. It's not something that should change your attitude or your behavior in the sense of you're better than others. I think you should still be honored and what's the word I'm looking for? Humble. You should. I'm actually Afrikaans, so it's terrible trying to express yourself. So always to stay humble, but never let that bring you down.
Absolutely.
Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes. And I'd like to take this opportunity and just reiterate what Chantelle said. So Chantelle was one of the finalists, I think, back in 2020.
But didn't win.
She did not win, yet she is here using her voice, and that nomination that she's talking about, which probably came from Brad Caftel himself. He normally nominates the ladies in the dealerships, but she recognized the fact that someone recognizes her work, and that is what this is all about. It's to take that nomination and pay it forward, and that's what she's doing with us. So please, I urge you to honor that nomination that you received. And as I always say, I've been saying this for the past couple of weeks, in the space of 20 years, only 6,000 people or 6,000 women out of 82,000 women in the trade, only 6,000 will be recognized in the top 300 per year over 20 years. Remember, this is the only platform in the world that is doing this. So please honor that nomination and take it as part of your achievements or accolades in the industry or just in your career. I'd like to just also say thank you so much, Chantelle, for everything you do for us. I use this opportunity because we are moving up now to the voting process, which I have no control over. It's all over with Nedbank now, so I mean it's moved over to their site. It's going to be an SMS or a link voting process, so I wish you all the luck with that. And I also would like to say thank you. Like I said, thank you for everything you do for us.
No, it's a pleasure. It's really a privilege to be part of the team.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching and commenting and sharing our interviews and content. Our non-profit company is the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, which is powered by MFC and Evo by Nedbank, and the Talk the Talk Studios, powered by Sariti Solutions and Evo by Nedbank, are recognizing, or is aimed at recognizing and celebrating the women of motoring South Africa. We are not just telling stories, we are changing lives. Together, we aim to empower and uplift the women of our trade. For those of you that are searching for your new ride, please visit www.auto.evo.africa. We have thousands of vehicles on sale for you to choose from, and we only advertise on behalf of reliable and trustworthy MFC accredited dealerships. This car listing portal is incredibly user-friendly and can also find reviews and car maintenance tips and advice all courtesy of Talk the Talk Studios. Ladies, concluding today's episode, I'd like to leave you with this message. Ladies, although saying I'm a bit of a perfectionist may feel like a badge of honor, true perfectionism will hold you back. Now, I'm talking about perfectionism because Chantelle is a bit of a perfectionist, but she's also very laid back in terms of admitting when she's wrong and she's made a mistake, and I've learned that about her over the years. So establish high expectations for yourself while also accepting that mistakes are part of the learning process. Please don't see vulnerability as a weakness. It takes strength to put yourself out there and risk being hurt. Whether you're the first to say I've made a mistake or you're asking a question that might feel embarrassing, being vulnerable can be the key to forming healthier, happier relationships. Be resilient, never give up, and remember, the question isn't who's going to let me. The question should be,
who's going to stop me?
Yay!